Whosoever hears this audio, if they be worthy, shall possess the inside human and superhuman abilities of the world's mightiest metahumans. Accompanying this journey of high-quality nerd commentary, we got my son Colton, a.k.a. Pizza Parker. Talk to the people.
Yo, it's your boy Colton, a.k.a. just that boy, man. I'm chilling, a.k.a.
Just that guy.
What have they done? Look what they've done to our history.
Look what they did to my boy. They massacred my son.
AKA, bring real gaming back, man. And I'm not talking about like Xbox Live racial gaming. I'm talking about like all the old shit that we getting rid of, man.
And as always, you know, my son Gas is in here floating around through the atmosphere, keeping shit crisp on these mics, you know what I mean?
Facts.
And you know who it is? Your boy Dennis, aka Old Dirty Dennis, aka the Pod Informer, aka Nintendo Power, nigga, aka the Dames Pro. Yo. Yo, welcome to another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast. I hope y'all know I'm putting in this work with these AKs for the end of the year.
He really is. He's going crazy.
I mean, for the end of the year when we got to do the genies, nigga, trying to make it tough.
Nigga going crazy. Nigga going crazy.
Oh, shit. So how you feeling, bro?
Nigga fighting himself. I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm chilling. We just recorded one of my favorite episodes, but I'm not going to say nothing. But yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Okay. All right. So today, I kind of, this topic was something I've been like sitting on for a while because I wanted to talk about it, but it really came to be because of one of our, I mean, because if you're listening to this, you're probably of a certain age, so you know like gaming magazines when that was like a thing. And we just like lost the last one just recently, right? So this is kind of like a mixture of topics. We want to cover a couple things, you know, like technology, because you know as that continues to like evolve or whatever, we kind of like as a society kind of got a little complacent when it comes to certain things because of technology and just digital media in general, right? Because like you think about like classic entertainment, like you think about movies, you think about music, you think about games, you stream all that shit now. I mean, like you don't own a DVD like most people. I won't say everyone. Most people don't own like a bunch of Blu-rays. You know what I mean? Once you found out you can stream, nigga, you throw out them VHS tapes.
Like, yeah,
nigga.
I don't need that.
I don't need this shit. Why I need that? I could just stream anytime I want. Like I don't have to deal with that shit. And because of that, like we kind of suffered in some areas where I guess you could say we kind of took it for granted. Like, because as an adult, I don't really think about gaming magazines the way I did as a kid. Even though I still consider it important.
Shit, nigga. I was just talking to one of the homies the other day about booklets, like that came in physical gaming. Like I was just like, how they don't even put,
it doesn't
and
exist.
If they do hit you with any type of paper, it's like a little code for a battle pass or some shit. So
yeah, that's not even a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Which is crazy because then like all the people that worked on the game, like the only way they get seen is if you beat the game.
That's a fact.
Like
that shit is kind of insane.
Like that's not wild that we just spent 2 years on this game and nobody knows unless they beat the game now.
I'm not gonna lie. Nowadays, what they will do, which I kind of appreciate, is that they'll just have the credits like readily available, like in the beginning of the game, so you can look at the credits and see if like who worked on what.
Yeah, nigga, if I get 2 years to something, I want niggas to know.
I want niggas to know what the fuck I did.
Right. So like I said, this is gonna be like a mixture of topics, and some of the topics they're not necessarily heavy topics, but they're more serious topics. But before we get there, I do want to start it off a little lighter. Since we were talking about like gaming magazines or whatever, do you have any favorite gaming magazines? Like
I used to fucked with Game Informer like a lot.
Okay.
Like Game Informer like a lot. Fuck, man. RP.
Like, yeah, man. Like for me, I'll give you a minute.
PlayStation Magazine was a good one.
Yes. For me, EGM. I was big on electronic gaming monthly. That was huge for me.
EGM did go crazy.
Game Pro. Game Pro is a classic.
Pro was
like,
also classic.
That's like that's synonymous at this point. And I think there were ones I think it was EGM that just recently closed. Game Pro closed like 2011 or some shit. Like they closed a while ago.
I think Game Informer usually.
Yeah, Game Informer was the one that just recently went, I think. Because GameStop owned them.
33 years, man.
Yeah. Yo, think about that. After 33 years. If you're listening to this, you're probably around that age. Nigga, it was around your entire life. That's not wild. Like a gaming magazine was literally your age. That's crazy.
PC Gamer.
Yeah, PC Gamer. That's another classic. I used to get like mad the demos from them and load that shit up in my PC. Yeah, like go crazy with that shit. Yeah, like another one that I can remember, like just good memories around that time is when the first Metal Gear dropped. and niggas was stumped because we didn't have Twitch, you didn't have like YouTube, Reddit, none of that. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to get past Psycho Mantis, my nigga? Like, everything I do,
man.
nigga, this nigga got a counter, nigga. What the fuck?
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those read a game magazine, find a guide, and now I'm about to follow this guy. I'm about to sit here and follow this guide.
Yes. So when they brought it up, like, yo, you just gotta move the controller into the next port. Shit blew my mind. It was like, yo, these niggas are gaming on another fucking level,
Yo,
nigga.
OD.
What
OD.
are you talking about? Like, how did you find that out? What? Like, that was ill to me. Like, just all those type of things around that time. I may not be able to remember like all my favorite covers, like across like all, because there's too many good covers. But I can tell y'all that I remember certain games when they made certain covers. Like, one of the big ones for me at that time is when Virtua Fighter was on EGM. Now, that was big for me only because this is one of the first introductions to us in 3D gaming. So when you saw those weird bottle-shaped cylinders on the cover, nigga, it's like, oh, we gaming now. Like, we in the future, nigga. Like,
we had mad crazy.
Like that was
Jet Set Radio Future shit is crazy.
Yeah, like that shit was crazy.
I remember when, even though I know a lot of people probably didn't play Killzone. Killzone had like a really good cover. Mm-hmm. Halo had a really good cover. Destiny had a really good cover. Mass Effect had a really good cover.
One of the things I enjoyed about like the covers in that time, which is something I guess you could say
Zelda had too many good covers,
which is reminiscent to like the 70s and stuff like that, is we had so many original covers because they'd reach out to artists like Todd McFarlane, and he'd fucking draw like Metal Gear on a cover and just give them niggas an original piece for like that cover for that month. So when you get that book, it was like art, nigga. It was just like, oh shit, like here's original artwork from like a famous comic, because this is like the 90s and shit.
That shit was too good.
Famous
retro gamer. I remember retro
like
gamer.
So a famous fucking artist that does like Spawn and all this other shit and work with Marvel and DC. He's now doing the cover for our magazine for this game. That's ill as fuck. You don't get shit like that no more. Like, that's fucking fly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a huge thing for me. The classic Super Smash
Nintendo.
Game Pro cover. Know what I mean? Like the gold one with like Mario on it. That's a classic. I'll never forget that shit. Duke Nukem. Like Duke Nukem had some covers. Know what I mean?
Sonic had a lot of good covers.
Yup. Star Fox was on a couple covers. Like when we got like that N64 wave of like games and shit, like they had some pretty fire.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yes. Ooh. Bandicoot definitely has some.
Sly Hoover had a great fucking cover. And Jackson Daxter.
Yeah. Damn, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we had like a lot of like, and that's just between the two of us. Like, you could imagine if we had like a room of people in here, like just going through like covers that we're probably forgetting. Like, that's art. You know what I mean? Like, that's classic.
Yeah, look at this shit. I remember that Pokemon Silver one.
Yeah. I remember the Pokemon Yellow one.
Yeah.
With, like Ash in the cover, nigga. Like,
they
I remember that
Dreamcast
one with Sonic right there.
I do remember.
Like, I remember, like, we have so many classic ones, and like when I was working on like this topic for us to like come in here and like talk about it, like, you know, I was on like Reddit and shit, and like niggas still have like some of their magazines from that time. Like, there are people who like collect that shit like comic books. Like, this nigga was like, yo, I read that shit sometimes. I just go back and like just read it just because.
That makes sense.
And it's just like, I get it. Like, I get it. It was like, it was a time. Like, it was really a classic time for like a lot of that shit.
Look at this Halo cover or this Edge
nigga,
Halo cover.
Listen, we had some times, man. We had some fucking times. So yeah, like but like, so while we're doing this, because he's like looking through mags and it's definitely like jogging memories. That's a good question. What are some of your personal like gaming mag memories, if you have any? Like,
well, the only thing I do remember about any magazine or just my gaming magazines is them coming to my crib like on a specific day and me like reading it. Like, I'm looking through all the fucking pictures at first and then actually reading it afterwards, and then like going to guides and being like, oh shit, all right, bet. Or like I had Game Shark at that point. So they would have the codes for like games in the back, like GTA, all types of different types of shit. And I would just be religiously remembering them shits. Like, it was like my school test. Like, I was like, I gotta remember these codes and these passwords and shit to wild out, nigga. And yeah, that shit was just I don't know, in trading magazines with the homies, like when I didn't have a specific one, I'd be like, I'll trade you this one for that one, and we would. That shit was, it was good memories, man.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. Like for me, I have 3 core memories. One is the ads. The ads were
Yeah.
mad, like, unique.
They were mad crazy.
Like, that was one of the few times I can think of in my entire life where I saw an ad and I wasn't upset that I had an ad. Like, that, because the gaming ads are fun. Like, the Mortal Kombat ones, like, they had, like, Street Fighter, like, gaming ones. Like,
Yeah,
it always
like
felt
Mario
like was,
drinking milk.
Yeah,
what
like,
the fuck is got milk with Mario?
They was having
I'm like,
fun.
oh shit, okay,
and it
cool.
was like, yo, they were cooking. Like, it was really, like, the ads in those books felt like probably the most unique ads I've seen, like, across my entire life, where it's just like, fuck, these niggas trying to sell me something. You saw those ads like, this is cool as fuck, actually.
This is actually dope.
Yeah, so like that was one of my biggest. Like you mentioned, just the excitement of a new book coming in. Like you knew around what time that book was coming in. You probably come home from school, it's in the mail, it's in the plastic, and they got your address in the front on like the little white card or whatever. You take that shit out, you just knew like, oh shit, nigga, like let me see what's going on in gaming right now, because you knew they was gonna have the articles, they was gonna have the guides. Like I said, they had the ads. They was going to tell you about new games that's coming that you didn't hear about, that you didn't know about.
The computer ads look cool back then.
Like everything about it, like that was like a moment in time. So for me, my second, like I said, is new books coming in and just kind of like Colson said, sitting there, you look through all the pictures first, you want to see all the cool shit, and then you slowly go back and you actually read through the entire magazine. Like you weren't skipping shit, like you were going through like the Q&A sections where like people would write in like writing questions, and then like we get like answers back from like the authors and like, you know, like the editors and shit like that. Then you read through the guides, then you find about all the new games that's coming. You see like the ratings that they were giving like games. You find the guides about some shit you was probably stuck on that these niggas figured out. Like, so you looking through all this shit, and it's literally, there was no wasted page. Like everything meant something and you enjoyed every page of it. Like I had thorough enjoyment from that. Now, my third thing is probably my biggest thing. And I'm going to detail this for y'all because I know somebody out there is going to listen to this and you're probably going to be able to Google it to prove Dennis ain't no lie. My biggest thing out of like all gaming magazines was there was this one Game Pro magazine. Don't remember which one it was. And it came with like like he was mentioning about like the little pamphlets and shit. This one came with like, I think it was a Web Monkey pamphlet. And that Web Monkey, it was a yellow fucking pamphlet. And basically it was teaching you how to do web design. I'll never forget that shit. They was teaching like the basics of it. And mind you, I'm like junior high school at this time. Had no access to like HTML, any of that shit. My first access to that shit was this Game Pro book.
That's pretty dope.
I remember like my friend had one too. And he didn't take it as seriously as I did. Like I took that shit very seriously for whatever reason. And I studied that shit and I learned how to make websites from that. This podcast probably does not exist in the way it does if I did not learn how to do that shit. Because I learned that and graphic design because of that Game Pro magazine. Because of that Game Pro. These logos that y'all see, all this shit, I learned that because that was literally my stepping stone to everything else I've ever done when it comes to like design and like that's fucking crazy.
That's pretty dope.
Like like I literally learned all that shit because of that book. Like literally, I remember I went on to like make my first website on GeoCities, Yahoo GeoCities, nigga. It was a game bag. It was literally a game website where I literally posted for all the homies to download ROMs. We were stealing them shits.
Yo,
I'm gonna keep it real. It was emulation, nigga. Like we was ahead of time. Like
that ass. He was like, hey, go to ROMs,
I literally had like all the Sonic games. You download that shit. Like whatever we had, Killer Instinct, nigga, download it, nigga. It's on my website. We at school. Like when you get home, nigga, turn that CompuServe, nigga.
I feel it.
Download that shit. I got you.
Gaming magazines taught me what Mugen was.
Yes,
so I'll always remember that.
Yes.
Like, cause I remember, like, nigga, we would be in the back, porting like I would go home, get like a fucking floppy disk, nigga. Whoa, crazy. Get a floppy disk. Import sprites and characters, and put them into the floppy disk. Insert it at school because we had a Mugen. And also, here's a epic story. We had a 3-year Mugen. So like the niggas 3 years before us in this classroom downloaded Mugen.
See, I've been adding characters,
and we've just been adding characters. So like by the time it got to us and we like knew how to use it. We had like hundreds of characters.
Smash Brothers,
it didn't. We had like every Dragon Ball Z character that never existed. We had like every Naruto and Yu-Gi-Oh cards was in the game. Like we put every fake character, Homer Simpson. They got any character. We put all of them, loaded them in the floppy disk, put them in the game, and then we will fight each other, knowing that certain characters was unfair. And we will fight each other and get mad like we don't know know that this shit is unfair.
And here's what made that shit even iller for me, because you just unlocked the memory. Is I remember at that time just being curious, like, yo, damn, how are people doing this? And I learned how to make a character, like the sprites and everything, then compress the shit, and then put it into the game too. So I was learning how to make my own original. Nigga, like the 90s around that time, like we weren't as advanced as today, but
we were still wild.
We were learning mad shit, bro. Like I learned, I could have had a whole career in just gaming, just because of some shit like that. I ended up just with graphic design and web design. I mean, like,
he know what he doing.
I mean, so like, no, I like just little things like that. Just play. You think about like gaming and shit like that, and how little things like that can affect you on like a giant level. Like that echoed through my entire life. Like that led me here to do all this shit. It led me
to want to do streaming and gaming and do this podcast with my friends about nerd shit, because it was like, oh shit, I feel seen, and I feel like these adult niggas is dead ass supporting us right now in this moment. Because I will say that, like, while a lot of people try to talk about like nerds being gatekeepers, like real nerds are never gatekeepers. They're very open for people.
You want more people to like
we want more people to like the shit that we like, because it's hard to just go into a space and start talking about sprites, and people don't think you're talking about, and people think you're talking about fucking soda,
and compressing like, fucking animation.
You know what I'm saying? Like so
no, like
and then demos, like, and then the demos that came with magazines was very important as well.
Yes, that was like, especially if you ain't had the money, you love them fucking demos, nigga, because now I could like rock this demo for like 2-3 months. I could play Spyro, nigga. It might just have the first level, but I got it, nigga. Like, know what I mean? Like those.
What was the official demo disc? Oh shit.
Yeah, nigga.
This nigga's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I used to get the PlayStation magazine just to get like
the demos, nigga. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember there was one specific one that's like the legendary demo disc that has like Metal Gear Solid, something else, and something else. And I just can't remember. This one is Ace Combat, NFL Game Day. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, like this is like classic shit right here. Like being able to like have these rapper, like Crash just getting just
Ghost in the Shell, Madden. This is the first one I ever got. The one that had Crash Bandicoot 2,
it had cool borders and shit.
Ghost in the Shell. It had Madden NHL Face Off. That was the first one I ever had, and I always remember that. But then there was one that had There was one that had Metal Gear Solid in it.
I know, because I had one of those that it wasn't I think it was either the official or one of the jam pack shit. And that's my first introduction to Metal Gear Solid, was that jam pack. Because you played it, they let you do the first level where he had to go underneath the fucking shit and get to the through the tunnel or whatever, and get to the top where the helicopter picked you up or whatever. And the game finally actually started.
Yeah.
And that's where like the demo ended. I remember that shit because I played that shit a million fucking times before I actually got Metal Gear. But yeah, no, like even little things like this was like classic moments.
Yeah,
like being able to have these and like experience that shit that way. You knew every month when this shit came in, it was a moment. Like it was like, oh shit, nigga, my magazine came in. Like you taking that shit to school, you showing your friends who don't have it yet. Y'all talking about like games and shit. You reading the articles, you arguing, you debating, whatever. Like those were like for me, like I said, like you guys saw earlier, these are classic and very important molds shaping like moments in my life, like for me. But again, like I said, I did want to start off on like the more fun.
Yeah.
So even though we start with the fun,
Xbox disc?
it's possible.
Hold on.
So while he looks for that, I'm a like I said, a lot of this so far was us reminiscing about like classic shit. But again, you kind of gotta go with the flow of what's happening now.
That's
so gaming magazines, like for the most part, like they're gone. And the most recent was we talked about at the top of the episode was GameStop closing Game Informer. Like, you know, after 33 years. That's crazy. Like I said, like there's a good chance that it's about your age or you were like 1 or 2 or some shit. Like, but you were around. You know what I mean? For the start of that to the end of that. And Game Informer, EGM, Nintendo Power, PSM, Game Fan, Game Pro, these were like the Bible at that time.
Yeah.
Like if you were a gamer, whatever these niggas was talking about, you wanted to know about.
And this was
nigga.
like the serious like gaming journalism. This
Yes.
wasn't like slapstick.
Yes.
A nigga on Twitter is just posting about like different streamers and like
Yes.
what they heard. Like they were dead like passionate about it. They
Yes.
would put together thoughts. They would even tell you that this might not be for you. Like you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's not like one of those things like, yeah, of course some people were getting paid to, you know, favorably to
Of
say
course.
certain things.
I mean, that's the
It's
way
just
of the
now
world.
I feel like it's so much more shameless now because they
Yes.
don't have. They're just deleting those spaces where there can be people that actually enjoy
So,
these things.
What
Speaking
what
real.
he's talking about is literally where I'm leading this to right now. So, like the internet giveth and the internet taketh, because there's a lot of good you could say because of the internet, but you could also say it killed a lot of things.
Yeah, there's
Or
a lot of bad too.
It killed off E3. Nigga. Like that's just
That's
gone.
a fucking
That-
fact.
That's gone.
That don't need to exist. Though.
We don't need it because in the space that we have now, where would it fit? Like you have access to everything,
especially when everybody is having multiple EPs, so they can just do their own E3 of the multiple games that they have. There's no point to have an E3, so that's why they even do things like the Gamer Awards. And I'm only putting quote unquote because it is an award show, but it is basically a glorified E3. You know what I'm saying? With an award show, which makes sense. Like, why when we kill two birds with one stone rather than like just have one bird killed and then the other bird still flying around fucking my shit up? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's what they felt about E3, and that's kind of how the digital age feels about other things, unfortunately, like magazines and physical game copies and like books, pamphlets and shit like that. Like
so it's kind of like I'm saying, like as the internet improves and gets better, like and social media grows, news spreads too quickly. Like I can't sit here and act like I know all the ins and outs of a magazine, but I know how long it takes to put something like that together.
That's a fact.
And by the time, honestly, if we're going on, because that's something I wanted to talk about too, is let's talk about the professionalism and like creating like articles and fact checking and all that shit. By the time you do all that, before you even take that shit to print, we already know. The internet already told us. We already know. We've seen it on Reddit. We've seen it on YouTube. We've seen it on Twitter. We've seen it on Facebook. You've seen it on Live. You've seen it somewhere. You've seen a nigga playing the game on Twitch.
Somebody who didn't even spell correctly already dropped that story.
There's a video out. There's a story out. We already know. We're already talking about it. You haven't even taken your shit to print yet. Your shit isn't even like on a shelf yet.
That's a
fact.
We
already know. It's done. You just wasted your time. And the resources it took you to do that, it doesn't make sense for you to do that. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, there'll be some people that'll still enjoy magazines. But for the most part, niggas want it now. I need to know right now. Spoil it for me right now.
And the
I don't
money
care.
is in,
tell me right now. And the money.
And the money is in content creation that's like more visual than it is like. I mean, yeah, because reading is visual and magazines are visual. When I say visual, like visual media, I mean like video media.
Yes.
Like that's where the market is kind of more going. Or like even like audio. You get what I'm saying? Like people want to hear or see someone actually saying something, unless it's like a social media like Twitter or something.
So basically, I literally wrote something similar to that where I just literally said it's more about speed than professionalism.
That's facts.
I just need to know. I don't care how you dish it out to me. I just need to know.
I need to know.
What I mean? Like I don't care. And traditional media just can't keep up with that.
That's a
like
fact.
like there's nothing that
because you have to fact check. And
because
with fact checking,
exactly.
you will have to hold some stuff back because you don't want to just say anything.
Because like think about it like this. Let's say you access the internet today, and then for some reason you don't use the internet for 30 days. Then you log on again. Nigga, you are old news. Like, do you know how much has fucking happened in just a week?
And I'm not gonna lie.
A month?
And I'm not gonna lie. You're probably way better off going on Google or going on Twitter than you are waiting for a magazine to tell you what happened in that last month.
Yes. Honestly, like
unless you have hyper specific magazine that just talks about what happened in the last month.
Yes. That's why even like newspapers, nigga, like them niggas gotta go online. Like, and they gotta which is, you know, I don't want to throw us off course, but that's why like a lot of them put shit behind paywalls, because it's like, hey, yeah, you could just come to the website and read it, but we still got to pay employees and shit like that. So the fact that you're not going into like bodegas and buying a fucking newspaper, we got to put it behind something to get you to still give us the money.
News is kind of insane to
me.
I feel like it's only insane because like they don't only paywall niche things. Like you can paywall niche things like when it comes to like I get like niggas paywalling like the Wall Street Journal where you talk about like business and trading and giving away secrets and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? But like to like paywall talking about Gaza, Like the paywall talking about Israel, paywall talking about like a mass shooting is fucking nuts because that's stuff that affect us directly
Now.
right here. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why I don't mean like all paywalls because they do.
Yeah.
You still have to pay people. You still have to do specific.
No,
things.
that's why I said like I agree with it being crazy. I understand why they have to.
I understand why they do it. It's a
It's
business
like, yo,
still.
like internet
still a
is
business.
squeezing niggas out. Like we not getting money anywhere else. Like we gotta figure it out somehow. You know what I mean?
They also got to figure out a way to not be on some like, well, get it somewhere else because people will just be like, okay,
yeah,
like, because
Yeah,
then y'all will just
You can't
not
do
have a business. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you got
yeah.
to figure out a different way to like, get your bread up, especially when it's a, and sadly enough, especially like video games, journalism, and a lot of physical media in general, it's dying.
Mhm.
Like it's dying, so you can't have the attitude where like, well, then get it somewhere else because it's Sunday.
You got to figure out a way to
get it somewhere else.
You got to figure out a way to adapt. That's why I was going next. Like literally, I wrote it down. The new game guides are YouTube, nigga. The breaking news
Yeah.
and never before seen footage, E3 and all that. That's Twitch. Like
Twitch
like
now.
literally, like all that
Streamers.
shit is like you
Live
can provide
time.
so much more on the internet, like video. You know what I mean? Just because of
YouTube,
shit like that.
Twitch, Twitter,
I can see-
TikTok, Instagram.
Why would I wait a month to find out? Like, granted, like I said, professionalism matters, but why would I wait a month for your article when I could just watch a nigga play it on Twitch and that'll tell me if I really want the game or not? Like, if I see how it plays out.
Also, why would I wait a month for your article if there's a nigga who was a journalist and got fired and became a Twitch streamer and he's playing the game and he has journalistic integrity? Like, he's telling me right now. Like, I don't have to wait for your article, nigga. I got another nigga who has a degree in these things, like,
Yes.
telling me what he's talking about. Like,
Yes.
a lot of people in show business have degrees for these things. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people end up becoming content creators, have degrees that help them do these things, which is, I think, is a secret that a lot of people don't know. Like, a lot of your favorite content creators have either went to school for like
They didn't just end
marketing
up there
or
by luck.
creative or journalism.
They know what they
or
were doing.
they had this, like they actually, me specifically, I went to marketing and then I also did like media management, but then I dropped out. So like the
But you
thing
still
is,
have
is like,
knowledge
but
on
you
it.
still have like people do have the heads up.
Yes.
So my problem with that is everybody who's popular is not that. You get what I'm saying? Like most of the popular people are not actual journalists or did not go to school for that.
But then again, that's what I was saying before about speed versus journalism.
Yeah,
like,
but
I
then
just want it
again,
now.
but here's another thing that I will say about these people who are quote unquote not journalists. They'll still get you that information. And then you do what you want with it because they're not the authority as well. I think that's the difference between the news and like a streamer or like these Twitter pages or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, those Twitter pages and those streamers and those YouTubers don't take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
They don't have to have journalistic integrity.
No.
Whereas it's different as if I read your article and you saying a bunch of bullshit,
I'm gonna
we
hold you
can
to it.
hold you to that. And
Yeah.
we can actually hold you to that because that's what you
That's the
actually
standard
do.
that
That's
you
the
set for
standard
yourself.
You should hold for yourself. So unless you're a tabloid motherfucker, like we're gonna look at you crazy. So that's why with streamers, it's easy for a nigga to be like, damn, here's today's news on this. But it's easy for us to do that.
Yeah.
Like
this is exactly where I was leading us. I nigga fucking eye to eye. Literally, that's why I was like, literally, when I wrote it, it was just like, yo, it's like, why would you wait for a monthly subscription? Like, when you think about it, when everything we were just talking about, like the magazines and reminiscing and all that, when you really think about it, like the black and white of it, you replaced your magazine.
Yeah.
Like every one of us, every time you jumped on Twitch, nigga, like
I replaced the magazine.
You helped that magazine die because now people that may not have bought that game before, they find you entertaining and they like watching you stream these video games. And maybe you influence them to get this game now. Or maybe you have a sponsorship with like a stream elements and some shit like that where you play certain games and they pay you for it, nigga. You are the magazine.
Nah, I feel bad. I only feel bad because I do think about like how much like I'll read a review and be like, I don't give a fuck what they're saying, right? And then like I'll do it myself, or like I'll hear my friends say that it's good, and I'll be like, all right, that matters way more. Or like I'll see a streamer I like or somebody on YouTube that I like and be like, this game is good, and then they show me why they think it's good, and I'll be like, all right, bet. Whereas like I have never ever, and I'm gonna be real, I've never ever ever, and this is no diss to IGN, I've never ever watched an employee of IGN play a video game and was like, yo, they're making me want to get this shit. Because like they play video games like a journalist would, which is
Exactly.
a motherfucker who actually don't really play video games like that, but they're trying to go through it and they're trying to immerse themselves in something that they're probably not really immersed in. And then the people who are too immersed be either too harsh or love it too much.
I'll give
and
you
now
guys,
I'm just like, goddamn, nigga.
I'll give you a perfect example of that is like when people who don't care about superhero movies review superhero movies.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm not going to enjoy your opinion because you don't care about this. I want to hear about this from a fan. Bro. Tell me if this shit is good for us or no. Like, that's what I want to hear. So the same thing with gamers. Like, yeah, I could wait for your professional magazine to drop this, and it'll probably be a beautiful spread. You probably had your graphic designer spread this shit out perfectly. The information is done immaculately. But, hey, Todd of the Block, he only got like 17 people on his views or whatever. But I trust his opinion because he a gamer. That nigga know his gaming shit. And he's going to let me know straight up, hey, I don't get paid for this. That shit is whack, or this shit is good. Like, that's what
but
matters
then there's also people that like get paid a lot and are very truthful. So it's like, bro, why should I wait for your article, which might be biased, when I know there's a nigga who legit got paid? Like, here's an example. There's niggas who 2K be flying them out and give them free copies and give them mad codes to give to other people and give them merch and give them a logo. And they will go on YouTube and be like, this game is absolute dog shit and I don't fucking want to play this shit. Right? Where it's like, I believe like, damn, nigga, that's real. Like, because I don't trust, but outside of like things like Game Informer and like the real magazines that are now closed. Yeah. I don't trust IGN and these other like niggas who are like actual like and like here's the thing.
Because they have something to gain from it. Like we can like give you X amount of dollars to make our game look good, and you gonna take it because one friend is dead, so you need the money, and your ads ain't getting it done, and you got employees that you need to pay. So yeah, you gonna take the money and tell us like, yeah, it's a 7 when it was really a 4.
Or in contrast, a game that's actually fun. But you realize that it might be problematic in the industry, so you're like, we're gonna shit on it, like what they did with Black Myth Wukong when they was just like, oh, this is a game coming from China. We might not want this shit to be too popular out here because we know it's gonna be popular out there. So most media publications was like, this game's not that good. Yeah. And like then it came out and everybody else is like, this shit is fucking hard.
Hey, actually,
you get what I'm saying? And just like what you're saying, like we end up. But that's the shit that sucks. See, because now it's a double-edged sword. Because I don't kill the bad journalists. I end up killing the good journalists, like the people who actually will put in the work to make a nice, thoughtful fucking review. Whereas like somebody, their editor will read it and be like, oh, this is not clickbaity. Nobody will care about this. Nobody will read this. Or like those articles will get posted, but they won't get a lot of love like the article that's just like, Kai Cenat's a fucking bozo. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Where like they try to do like stupid shit like that.
To get
like,
attention.
Because they like the tabloid type of things. And we don't take those people jobs away. We take away the jobs from the nigga who actually wants to focus on gaming. Yeah. And then their bosses is like, nigga, get with your times. We got to care about Aiden Ross and these.
So I'm going to give you guys a perfect example of everything that we're talking about right now. One, about the fact that we ourselves kill gaming magazines is you get access to demos and open betas and closed betas.
True.
We played Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Way early.
We were able to get reviews, all that shit. Like, that is literally like that would never happen in the 90s.
Never ever.
You would never have access. Why would we give you access to our game 3-4 months ahead of time?
You are not a game tester.
Like, why does your opinion matter? Because it matters because you want word of mouth now. Yeah. That is more important than anything else. Because for every one person that you get to sign up for a beta, I have like 4,000 followers. Colton has like 4,000 followers. You're able to touch multiple people, and it's for free. We don't have to pay you.
And I'm gonna be real. When I say I like something, I know Dennis could relate. He also on his timeline. When we say we like something on our timelines, people will go fuck with it.
Exactly.
So like they know, like niggas, know. And that even it'd be funny because like here's an example. Like when we tweeted about Transformers and they retweeted us because they seen like mad people was like showing love to the shit. It's like it's that easy. It's like yo, look at this free ass promo from like real niggas.
We
like,
didn't even
from
even,
real
like,
people. This
we
is
didn't
not
have to pay these.
We don't
niggas.
know
Like,
these
this
people.
wasn't even in a budget, and we got it. For
we
free.
don't know these people,
and we don't even know how many more seats they just filled by just doing this for
That's
us.
a fact.
Like, and that's literally that's literally where I was taking this whole conversation with gaming. Was at the end of the day, we're all sad that like gaming magazines are dying and shit, but we all contribute, even in the smallest ways. Like every time you go online, you playing games or you show up to like a YouTube, you help kill it. You know what I mean? Like we're all responsible in some fact. Like you didn't. I mean, granted, you're not going out of your way to like kill this shit because everybody wants the news now. You want information now. Yes, I would like to see Black Wukong in action versus just reading an article. I like to see someone that I want to see the gameplay. So if I can see the gameplay. Again, speed versus professionalism, nigga. Like I can make a decision based on this video.
Hey, but guess what?
Than I
guess
could
what?
with that
Guess
article.
what? Still professionalism, though. Here's the problem with that, right? The professionalism part of journalism only matters if that person takes journalism the way that journalism is supposed to be taken.
True.
Because a lot of journalism now is sensationalism. It's not actually just like
it's clickbaiting. Like
the news.
You need people to see the ads.
The problem is it's okay to have your opinion. My problem is now what it is like there's an algorithm. There's always like a specific thing that everybody follows, and they do that all the time because they know it'll arise the same reaction. So it ends up being a sea of people just sounding the same, using the same buzzwords.
It's just sensationalism.
And it's sensationalism. So it ends up not being journalism. So like that's why even the double-edged sword of that is when you look at people that you trust and you think like, yo, that person's journalistic integrity is for real, is when they disagree with you, now you might hate them.
Yeah.
So like it's just like fuck. Like where do we go from there? So I just say, but I would rather be the person that's real and say some shit, and then y'all are just like, nigga, you're wrong, because I'll still accept that like everyone's different. Like I might love Black Wukong. If there was a nigga in my chat like, yo, this shit is ass, this shit is whack, this shit is whack, this shit is whack. First of all, I'd be like, nigga, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Cause like, why are you here? Like, if you don't like it, why are you watching this in the first place?
Facts.
And then second of all, I'd be like, I respect that. But like, why are you here? Like, that don't make no sense. Like, so I just feel like it's just, yeah, man, we are fast tracking the internet, and the digital age is fast tracking physical media to the dirt, especially like in video games, especially because I was going to say one thing to strengthen your point is, I don't know if people realize, but back in the day, you cop a deluxe edition, you get a steel book, a special cover, a figure. You might get like kunais, a sword. You might get like a gun, a fake bullet, dog tags, like all types of merch and T-shirts, all types of shit. You get the $100, $150 version. You'll get the digital skins.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
The battle pass unlocked for a month.
Yeah.
So like, bro, physical media is dying, and it's all because of the digital and the internets. And we just gotta do our best to, I guess, preserve what we can preserve, and also keep integrity.
So here's where like I throw a slight curveball into this entire thing, because when I was coming up with this, I was trying to think about it from different angles, because the whole conversation is literally, this is inevitable. Like, you can't escape this shit. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to kill print. But magazines still do exist.
Absolutely.
Health magazines.
Yeah.
Bacon magazines. Garden magazines. Like, all these shits still
still exist.
And the reason why they exist is because they aren't reliant on the internet.
That's a
like,
fact.
A good fucking strawberry shortcake recipe, nigga, is good today as it was in 1999. Like, it doesn't matter when you find out, it's still good. Like, it's not time-based.
I mean, they
it's
still have music magazines, and they still sell well.
It's not dependent on these outside factors the way gaming is. Because we need this information now. Because technology is constantly changing. Cake is going to be cake 20 years from now, nigga, as it was 20 years ago. Like, it's never going to change. Like, cake is cake. I mean, like, recipes are recipes.
So why don't video game magazines go for more entertainment than information, because I feel like video game magazines are usually way more informational. So instead of them journalistically just, I guess, trying to teach everybody everything all the time, they should probably go more to actually people being biased, actual fans talking about their like actual theories and crazy shit. I feel like personal perspective that isn't like really fucking people up, but that's cool within games is like probably the future. Like niggas that theory craft. Like I think like a video game theory magazine would go fucking crazy.
So,
like if niggas made a magazine about theories and
so
video games
this
and
is
shit, would
exactly
be
what
hard.
wanted to talk about, because everything else you were just saying, like, it makes sense in the terms of like, yeah, like instead of worrying about like being professional, we put out these different types of articles or whatever, and we do more entertainment based. Like we have like these theories and all these other things. The problem with some of that is while your theories are not based on a specific time and it could come out today, tomorrow, and it's still interesting, why should we do that with you guys? Like, think about it. Like, if you're the magazine, like putting this out, you're trying to get advertising, and then think about it as the person that is buying magazines or whatever, or like just reading about shit like this. I can just watch a thread on Twitter.
Well,
like,
that's
I literally don't need your magazine.
well,
for that.
that's where it becomes more like how, and I hate to say this, how Vince McMahon handled wrestling, where you become less of like I guess the bastion of like the last space of like only like video game news and theories, but you also become a talent scout. So why should we listen to you? Don't listen to me, listen to Kai Cenat. We've trained Kai Cenat. We got Kai Cenat coming in theories. Don't listen to me, listen to Matt Pack. Don't listen to me, listen to this nigga that's been doing theories on YouTube for years that we brought in to come and pay and do this shit because you guys already like this person. You get what I'm saying? Don't listen to me. Listen to Wendy Goon talk about this shit because he actually talks about these things.
So
I'm like, so it has to become like a multimedia where everyone kind of works together type of thing.
I love that. Like the idea of that. My only pushback with that is people and individuality. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're Game Pro and you reach out to me and you're like, yo, Dennis, we love your opinions on games. It riles people up. We want you to come in and talk about this new Boba Fett game that Star Wars is working on. EA's putting out a fucking Star Wars game. And I'm like, all right, cool. How much y'all paying? And you're like, all right, we give you, I don't know, 10 grand, some shit like that, or 20 grand or whatever for the article. And I'm thinking like, okay, if you guys are coming to me, that means in theory of this example, I'm pretty fucking popular.
Yeah.
I think I'm worth more than 20. Okay. And maybe if I did it on Twitch myself, I get more than 20.
Maybe.
Like with ads and shit.
Maybe.
You're fucked now.
Yeah, but I mean, that's business though.
But
like,
yeah,
there's always going to be that, like, here's the thing about that, right? I'm not even thinking about doing it, like, because at the end of the day, like, for something like that to happen, it would have to be more guest than, like, you're my employee forever type of thing.
Yeah.
So it would have to be contractors. You get what I'm saying? So if you think, because again, at the end of the day, if you, what's his name, and you say this is your price and it's not in my budget, I'm not even going to come and talk to you. You get what I'm saying? So, like, if I go to you and you say your budget is this, and then you change last minute, and I think you worth it, I might give you that bread, or I might not. I feel like it's just business. That's just how it goes.
No. But see, that's also the part of the business I'm thinking about is if I'm that person and your gaming magazine reached out to me to review this game, in my head now, let's turn that to drugs, nigga. Like you got coke, you getting it from your nigga in Bolivia, nigga, and you selling it to me like 10 a key. That nigga's willing to give it to me for 6. If I meet your plug, I don't need you.
Go meet him, man.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, instead of like going through the gaming magazine, nigga, what if we just go straight to EA? And EA's like, well, shit.
That's totally fine. My thing is that would be also a way to generate and make stars. Because like you would have just all you have to do, it sounds hard. It's gonna be hard, but all you have to do is get a few known people to work with you and have a good enough business plan and have a good enough idea that could work. And then all you gotta do is cultivate your ingrown talent. It's like kind of like a sports team. You know what I'm saying? You got your rookies and shit. You got the young niggas. You got the niggas who like work out, and then you bring in 2 stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do their thing. They take out to maybe the second round, right? Those rookies got mad run. Those stars is like, nigga, we worth way more than whatever y'all fucking tried to give us. Fine. go to the other place, right? They go get their bread straight from the source, straight from Adam Silver, nigga. Like they go straight to Adam Silver. He like, nigga, I'm making a commissioner team, nigga, and I'm paying y'all way more than what anybody else get. I want the best team, right? My young niggas still got experience. One of these could be driven to be a star. I have to just make sure I still cultivate that culture and that thing. So it would have to be the perfect culmination of like you building your own brand and your thing, and also trying to work with collaborations from outside forces. But I will my pushback to what you're saying about I could just go to ESPN or I could just go to
the only
EA
reason...
Sports is yes, you can. The thing is I just see this as being kind of mutually beneficial to both of us, especially like if you're one of those people that like a lot of streamers, like they do get to go and do professional things, but they rather just kind of do it by themselves, or they don't sometimes get called to. I don't think IGN be wanting to call Kai and these niggas for them to work with them, and like even though Kai probably won't work with them now because they be wilding on him, it's just that these same places push away the future so crazy. And we've seen it. We've seen these magazines be like, who the fuck? These streamers are not important. What the fuck? They're not journalists. Why are y'all listening to them? They're not that. So it's like, nigga, if you embrace them and they go, yo, bro, I'm worth more than that. You like, all right, cool. Niggas will remember that. That's all I'm saying.
So this is the reason why I brought up them going to other places isn't for them. The reason why I'm bringing it up is for the company.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
If you have enough people that just keep saying like, yeah, you know, I work with you, and they work with you one time or whatever, and then they realize I could probably do this more on my own to make more. You still have a monthly thing that you're generating. Right. So in that time, you're losing business because you have to keep reaching out to people. And then let's think about it as a business. You're not the only one in this space. Because if you introduce a new idea, some shit like, now you're competing with all these other magazines. So now this person that you were trying to get, they shopping around deals other places too. And if they decide, you know what, I don't really like the deals any of these niggas give me, I could just do this shit myself because people fuck with me, which is why I'm in this conversation in the first place, because I have a big enough name. Just do it myself. If they do it themselves, that's good for them, but that's not good for your business, because your business is reliant on having these type of people. But
that's also why I'm talking about. That's also why I said that, like, with bigger names, it would be short term. It would be guest. It would not be like you work with us for. It's more about trying to cultivate your own talent and have them being able to see that these things can happen and they can fucking work. The real plan is not for the stars. Like, the stars will come. If you develop stars, more stars will come.
Here's a better idea that they should have considered, but that would have required like vision, and they didn't have that because they were older niggas at that time. The same way niggas jump on Twitch and they have like their groups of friends.
And like stars, that's what I'm talking about.
GamePro could have just been like, you know, instead of us being like a traditional magazine anymore, we're a Twitch clan. And literally we have our Twitch clan of people, and these are the people in our clan, and people pay attention to the members in the clan or whatever. And it could have just been actual journalists that became like full-time gamers or whatever the case is.
I mean, that's why
we generate
a lot of places like IGN and them still exist, because they have those spaces where they went straight from being like, we only do these internet articles to like, we have full talk shows with like a bunch of fucking people talking about specific things that they really like, but they also happen to be journalists and they also happen to be real gamers. So like I said, it's just about cultivating your ingrown talent. Like, my first plan wouldn't be to reach out to big names, because like you said, I would just have to maintain reaching out to big names. Like, my first plan is to find the best like in-house talent that I can find, that I could possibly make into a star, or I see star potential in. And then we try to work on bringing in people as guests. We pile up as much as we could pile up. And then when we do that run, the real shit is we have this star to pull people in, but then we have all these fucking amazing players and amazing writers and amazing fucking creatives and talent to keep those people in. And then hopefully one day, one of these people or all of these people become bigger than whatever I could fucking bring in.
Here's a free idea, and I swear to God, if you niggas use this and you don't credit us, perfect example of what I feel like they should have did is taken from your example is, let's say you got a Kai. Mm-hmm. And you had Kai on GamePro or whatever, and he was a part of this Twitch clan that you had. Mm-hmm. You would pair him with a journalist, and they both play the game together.
That makes
and
that's
then
even
you
better.
have him for the entertainment value. People are coming in, and then you get the journalist to actually review
talk
what
about,
Kai just did. That's your article.
That's
and it's like, oh shit, now I'm gonna pay attention to the article because I was there in that Twitch stream when Kai was wilding and he was doing the Elden Ring shit and he had the double fucking blades or some shit. And then you read the professional version.
You know what I never see, and in my mind I'd be like, why IGN don't do this more? Because it's such a joke that people, that it's kind of the truth is, yo, IGN reporters should start their reviews when they're playing a game and they're not good. It's like, I'm not good at this game. But like I'm playing this game and I'm sure that you guys are watching like, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But this game fucking sucks. Yeah. I feel like shit like that would be fucking like, people would be like, okay, I fuck with this guy. Yeah. Like, he's being mad honest. Like, niggas will be struggling in a game and just say something like, oh, the mechanics are clunky, and then you just see them legit not playing the game properly.
I guess part of the reason why I guess shit like that doesn't happen is the behind the scenes, like, when it comes to like ads and shit, because a person that like just jumps on Twitch, you don't really give a fuck about your political connects because you don't have any. You know what I mean? Like, you just going on, you saying how you feel because that's how you feel, and you turn it off and you go about your day. But some of these companies, you in bed with other companies, and those companies, maybe you're not even in bed with those companies. The people that pay you are in bed with those companies, so you can't upset my man's. Because he pays the ad dollars, and him being pissed off means I have to be pissed off, which means you're a problem for us. So even shit like that that's why I said you use the idea of a buddy situation where, like, we're still professional and we can't control what Kai says. So if he comes on this stream and says, yo, this shit sucks, it's not us. Like we're a part of the stream, and I'm here for the professionalism side of it and to review what he did. But I don't necessarily share his opinion. Like, I'm just here to do my side of the job versus you doing both, and then you're on the hook for both. So you use the talent to get away with the shit that you know you shouldn't say.
That was technically my plan, was to just link up the journalists, the video game journalists, and the actual, like, just the gamers, like the people that they don't consider professional, because that world has been them shitting on each other like a lot. Like the streamers and the popular YouTubers and shit will just be like, what the fuck are they talking about? They're dog shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then IGN and them will be like, these are not even fucking professionals. Why y'all listening to them? So it's like both sides need to kind of embrace each other. Like, and like, I mean, every time they try to embrace each other, like, it's worked out. And then some crazy shit happens.
The old school needs to embrace the new school more than the new school needs to embrace the old school. Because the new niggas are gonna get by regardless.
Yeah, and honestly,
they gonna get by regardless.
I will say this now. The new niggas are kind of a lot more will embrace older niggas way more than older niggas will embrace.
Because they're stuck in their ways. Niggas. That's really the problem. And that was where I was.
And them young niggas do be ignorant, but they will listen. At least listen to you.
Exactly. So that was kind of what's taking the final point about, like, gaming magazines is, when it boils down to it, it's always going to be about ads, and so going to be about money. And
ads and revenue.
If you go through, like, a lot of those stories, one thing that you find in a lot of those situations, because niggas were not super professional in the 90s, is a lot of mismanagement when it came to money and budgets. So niggas was taking money they shouldn't have been taking and hurting the magazine in the long run, and then the writing's on the wall eventually. Like, the shit is not going to last. Like, if you don't have, like, an accountant nigga, and it's just your man's in the basement with, like, the boxes.
Here's
just
another
trying to
thing that I will say about a lot of these magazines, right? They're under big companies. And big companies love doing some shit like allocating funds from one part to, like, another part. And people will see the trend of paper dying and be like, let's start taking the budget away from magazines and then you'll realize that maybe these niggas didn't mismanage their money. Maybe, like, the higher ups was like, we gonna take bread away from here to put to over here.
Yeah. These niggas were generating $5 million. Now it's like $500,000.
Let's cut that budget. And now, like, these niggas hardly have anything to work on. So it's like, and like, also, like I said, because of ads and revenue, and because it's always about money, the higher ups see the trends. They don't believe them. They get hit by them, and then they panic and just start erasing shit. Like, I'm 1,000% sure every head of every media company, the second they seen that, like, niggas stop like reading magazines. They were just like, let's just start slowly killing our magazines, even if they're doing good.
Yeah,
That's
slow
how I
leak it.
felt.
Yeah, slow leak it. So yeah, so like at the end of that part, because I have one final part, is now you look at print magazines, especially like gaming magazines, and it's like collectibles. It's like comics now.
Yeah.
Like before we recorded, I was telling him, like, I was doing my research on it. And if you check on like Reddit and shit like that, a lot of people have boxes,
Mad
boxes
yeah.
of like old school like video game magazines from like the 90s and shit, like Game Pro, Game Informer, all that. And they just read it sometimes, like a comic.
Yeah,
like you just
that
read
makes
it,
sense.
and you just go through it, and like you remember where you were when you first got in, when you first read this shit, and that's it. Like just for fun now, because it doesn't exist. Like they don't even have websites and shit no more. All that shit is gone. Like it's just shut down.
Game Informer, they lost like thousands of articles.
Which is insane, because that hurts me as someone that's not an author or anything like that, to put in all that effort into something and then one day it's just gone.
Oh, don't even remind me.
Like just gone. Like
a nigga that's lost his Twitter page like multiple times, like especially like with like numbers I've had, especially with work I've had.
So imagine like giant articles that you wrote about like companies and shit like that and games, and it's gone now.
That's people's
crazy.
Like resume as well.
Yeah.
Like
because now how do you prove it?
Where's your reference? Like now your reference is off the internet.
It's been
hopefully
scrubbed.
they archive as much as they can, but I don't know.
So so the final thing that I really wanted to talk about, because this was all leading, if y'all see my vision, is where I was taking out with this shit, is literally the conversation of digital versus physical media, right? And one of the first things I did is, just being someone that grew up in that time, when my latest example was when the PlayStation 5 first dropped and it came out, and you could either get the digital or you get the one with the CD. It was a no-brainer for me. I got the CD.
I got the disc.
I did not bother with the digital shit. And my mindset with that was always like, I still have my older PlayStation 4. I had like my PlayStation 2 and still having games for those. You have a digital system that relies completely on the internet and downloading files or whatever. At any time, those files can be either corrupted or you lose them.
Also, there's also, you don't own digital games.
That's where I'm taking them. That's where I'm taking this, because literally, it's honestly, it's easier to do and it's more convenient for digital. Everyone knows that. It's super simple. We started an episode talking about streaming and shit like that. It takes up less space in your crib. You gotta worry about that shit. But at the same time, physical, it doesn't matter what happens outside of my home, I still own that shit. And one of the best examples of that is when it comes to licensing. Licensing is such a big fucking thing, which is why even by the time you guys hear this shit, I'm pretty sure the Marvel Capcom collection will be out. That's something that I would never buy digital. I want the physical copy of that. And the reason why I want the physical copy of that is because you're asking two companies, Capcom and Disney, and all the characters that they have that are now working together in this one game. You don't know how long that licensing is. Something can happen in 5 years and they're like, yo, I don't want to work with that company no more. And everything that we did with them niggas, take that shit the fuck down. So now that game is no longer in that internet store. Know what I mean? So if you had a digital copy and whatever, maybe you deleted it because you needed space on your fucking PlayStation or your Xbox or whatever. And then you're like, I'll just download it again. That shit's not there no more. That money that you spent, that you paid, like he just said, you got the deluxe for like 100, nigga. You got extra DLC characters or whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. That shit doesn't exist anymore, and we can't help you. The next best example of that, which is really what shot me to my core this year, when it came to, or probably was last year, when it came to like me taking physical more serious. I don't know how many people out there that listen to this watched Westworld.
Yeah,
I was a big Westworld fan. Super big. I love the whole, is it real? Is it not? Blah, blah, blah. They got a little weird at the end, but who cares? Everybody gets a little weird. Fine. Zaslav, you guys know the story because we talked about it with DC and shit like that, and Warner Brothers took over, and they were like, yo, we trying to save money. How about we get rid of some shows? And they decided to get rid of original shows. And the reason why they got rid of original shows is because, hey, the longer we have these original shows, we have to continuously pay the writers anytime this shit streams. So if the show doesn't exist, we don't gotta pay these niggas.
That's fucked up.
So they got rid of it. And it's an original HBO show. So I can't even be like, oh, well, it's not HBO no more. That shit'll show up on Paramount or like Netflix. No, that was their show. and it does not exist anymore.
Unless they flash sale the licenses to somebody, then y'all just
It's
can't
gone.
see it unless pirate.
Exactly.
That's why I
Hardy
also
har.
will say
Yo ho
something
ho.
about being Jack Sparrow is like if it's legal for a company
Spit. I know
to
he's taking it.
license me a game that I paid full price for, it should be legal for me to Jack Sparrow a game if that license gives up.
Yeah.
Because I paid a full price for like everything that like I paid full price for it.
So that's where because it recently came out that California, I don't know, they were the first ones to do it, has a new law that requires like online stores to literally disclose you are purchasing the licensing for digital games, music, media, music, ebooks, not owning them. You literally just purchase a license to rent that shit, and it can be revoked at any time.
Yeah.
Now imagine that I go out and I buy a physical copy of Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Squaresoft can't come to my fucking house and take that disc from me, my nigga. It's mine now. I can play that shit anytime in next 10 years, 20 years, whatever. You bought that shit through the fucking e-store, nigga. They take that shit down and you deleted your copy?
Basically,
you're fucked.
So I could put this in this type of layman's terms, right? 2K, right? I love 2K. I don't love 2K. I actually hate 2K. But I only love 2K because it's Stockholm Syndrome, and I've been playing it since 2K.
Hey, man.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
You can't leave that girl.
Like, since 2K,
look, we've been fighting forever,
like, since
but
I
that's
was
still my boo.
9 years old, I've been playing this video game, right? And it's been getting increasingly more predatory every 4 years, and then it became like every year. So with the new license and stuff, it's not really new, but it's more new because I could tell when they was trying to flip from physicals to digital that they was trying to do some such shit with digitals, because if you download games on one PS3 and then went on another PS3 and tried to download specific games, it would be like it's not allowed. Like I would just have to buy the whole game over. And I never really understood that because I'm like, what? That don't make sense. And I found out about licensing. And now it makes me hate games like 2K and games with battle passes even more that are not free, because like you're telling me I'm paying you basically $100 to $150 for a deluxe edition that's only gonna give me a bunch of digital shit, right? Then I'm gonna pay like probably $100 to $200 to make 2 characters like to play online. And then you could tell me if one day y'all all decide that this game just don't exist no more, all that money is just gone, and like none of it matters. Like all of it is just gone. Like it just, or like even crazier. 2K has been doing this thing because I feel like they've been like tinkering with their licensing. Is like they do this thing where like if they think you did something suspicious, they like ban you, right? Which is fine because people do like try to do a lot of suspicious shit. It's just that now it doesn't make sense. Now it's like I think they put an AI in charge of it. So like if it sees anything that it thinks is weird, it'll just ban you, and like it's just nothing you can do. Like unless you just hit up support, you have to pray that support answers you as soon as possible. I just see how licensing is a big fucking problem.
Licensing is a scam.
It is
in
a
gaming,
scam. You know what it is?
Scam.
It's digital scarcity. It's that thing again.
Yeah.
Which I don't. Which I even appreciate. Cause I be shitting on whatchamacallits a lot. Whatchamacall them shits? The digital
NFTs.
I used to shit on NFTs a lot, but I OD appreciate NFTs when you broke down like how NFTs actually work. So I was like, yeah, that should be how all creative shit like just works, right? Whereas they're doing the opposite. These niggas are like, yo, we own your shit. Like you giving us money to basically borrow something that if you went out and to a physical store and just copped it, you would actually own it.
Exactly.
What's the fucking point of buying digital
it's
shit?
Literally
and
just
I'm only doing it because of convenience.
Yeah.
And that shit sucks.
Because I'll tell y'all, like, as much as I said all that, am I a hypocrite? Yes, because I still have some digital games. I'm not going to lie. But I have a huge collection of actual physical games that I actually went out and bought. I actually have in the crib. Are there some games that I have digital of? Yes, because you know sometimes you go on PSN and it's cheap. Like maybe they got it on sale for like $15.99. It shit is usually like $35 or some shit. And stores didn't have the same sale, so yeah, you just copped it and you got it for cheap. In the long run, did I fuck myself over? Maybe, because if that company decides we don't want that shit up there no more, you're fucked. But in the moment, yes, it was convenient. My thing about, especially for this episode and like the digital versus physical thing, is just to make sure that more people know. At least invest some. If you're gonna be a gamer anyway, invest some of that shit into actual physical copies.
And especially the
honestly,
games that you think are gonna last a very long time,
and not even
you'll
just
want
games
to
you
play
think
them.
you
No, like games you personally think
like games that matter to you.
Like maybe in the future, if I bust out my PS5, I'll put this game in and be
exactly.
like, damn, I'm
because
reminded.
I can still do that with some of my old PlayStation games. I still got Cool Waters in the crib, nigga. I got
shit
Jet
go crazy.
Moto in the crib. I pull out the PlayStation 2 and
I
go
got-
crazy,
I got-
nigga.
I got a GameCube and custom robos ready to spin, nigga, at any moment, nigga. I
Nigga,
fucking
like
love
at
custom
any time,
robos.
exactly. But you can't do that with like a lot of that digital shit because there's no guarantee that shit's gonna be around. Granted, yes, I don't think PlayStation is going anywhere. But nigga, I don't know. I can't predict the future. We could wake up in like 5 years, them niggas bankrupt for some reason. Them niggas liquidating shit, and then
Honestly,
they sell to another company, and that company's like, yo, we changing around that whole e-store shit. We getting rid of this, that, and the third. And now half your games, you don't own them anymore. You never owned them in the first place, but now you can't even access them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like
we don't know how
physical.
we don't know how the future is actually gonna go. We do know that digital is the way, right?
Exactly. Talking about
Right,
what
we could be talking this shit right now, and tomorrow they come out with a crazy class action lawsuit that's like, yeah, all licensing is a scam, nigga. Like, oh, y'all own all y'all shit. Like, and that would be lit. But like, we also don't know if it becomes like a thing where they're just like, nigga, you bought that PS5, you don't own it. You leasing it.
Exactly. So like even like I said, like a lot of that shit you can't predict it because at least like everything we just said about magazines and shit like that and articles, we just talked about like how like full blown thousands of articles just disappear and you could just never read those again. But we also just talked about niggas on Reddit that got like boxes in the basement of Game Pros
you
and
can read
Game
them
Info.
again.
So you can't exactly. So you still own the shit, like even if it ain't online. Oh well, I still got my physical copy of that shit.
Yo,
So that's why I said like
you a genius, man. Nigga just rolled that bitch into like a Ouroboros, if you know what that means, nigga. Snake eating its own tail, nigga. We killing it, but preserving it keeps it alive. As long as you preserve the physical copies, then you could probably scan them into the digital, and then they're back forever. Where y'all think emulators come from?
Exactly. Because you can't just go into any store and pick up like fucking Pokemon Yellow, nigga.
That's
like
a fact.
I can download it.
All I'm saying
I can download
is video games and all this shit will never die. It'll just be regurgitated into like a new form. You get what I'm saying? So like streamers and shit is hot now.
Especially if there's always someone that says like in the back of their head, I should archive this.
Yeah.
Like as long as there's one person on the planet that says, you know what? I should make a digital copy of this and just keep this.
I'll tell you right now, right? I rapped. I was in a group called Awkward N-Words. Our mixtape was on DatPiff and it was also on Live Mixtapes. Both of those websites kind of don't exist no more. DatPiff got archived on archive.org. My mixtape is on archive.org. Somebody seen my mixtape and was like, that's important. We need to put this in history. So it's kind of crazy to know that me, Colton, don't have those original files and I rapped them. and like, but somebody archived it on the internet. So it just takes one person to actually care about archiving something for the future. If you ever see anything, I swear to God, if you ever see anything, and could go to photography, this could go to video recording, this could go to drawing, this could go to just anything creative, anything that could be physical, anything that could exist, and you could hold into your hand and look at, and a memory could come out of it. Make sure you preserve that, man.
Yes.
Like, just make sure you try to preserve it as much as you can and, like, try to share that with others. Because in the future, that shit... Yo, bro, we would not be talking about Wilt Chamberlain if these old niggas
If
didn't
somebody didn't take a
archive
picture,
his shit. If a
niggas
nigga
didn't
didn't
take a
crank
picture
the camera like
and
this,
him holding that
and
sign,
while he was jumping up the and slapping shit, we would have never believed that nigga, bro. We would have said that nigga is made up. Y'all made that nigga up. He is not a real person. He did not do those things. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, bro. And now there's cameras everywhere, but yo, deepfake is getting so crazy that we gotta hold on to the real physical shit that we got, man.
Exactly.
Yo.
That's why I said, like, at the end of the day, it's okay to like download physical, especially with like games and shit like that. It's cool, but I would say still
Try to
get some physicals,
man.
And a perfect example of that, my last example today is music. Perfect example of that. There's albums that you'll like listen to one day, and then you check like Spotify or like Apple Music, and it's
they
gone.
don't have it.
It's going to. It's just like, yo, wait, what? Exactly. Or someone's just like, yo. Or like Jay-Z's like, yo, like I got Tidal, nigga. I'm gonna just put Blueprint on the Tidal, and everybody else is.
Or one
good
day,
luck with y'all.
the nigga you sampled who said it was all good says it's not good no more.
Not good no more.
And now that whole album has to leave off of one song. One chord from one song. You get what I'm saying?
So that's what got me into vinyls. Because I was just like, oh shit. Like my shit could be gone one day. Like perfect example of that, everybody who knows me knows my 1A and 1B when it comes to like favorite rappers is Jay-Z and Ghostface.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. Big Wu-Tang fan. Y'all know the name, all that. Supreme Clientele, a lot of samples on that.
A lot of
big on samples on that. You can't. The price that shit costs as a vinyl is insane, and the reason why is because they can't print new copies of that vinyl because they would have to pay like a new licensing fee for all those samples that they have. So now that shit is like $300-400 just for that vinyl. That's fucking insane. But you don't want that to happen to you, which is why, again, like I said, you want to make sure you have these copies that you have for yourself about things you care about. Because one day, just like he said, niggas could be like, you know what? I don't like how that nigga used my sample on Ches La Ghost, nigga. Get that shit out of here. And then that album has to go, and you're fucked.
But here's an example of that also. Don't think you're free from that in the digital world as well. Because like as a creator or as creative, as a streamer, these niggas, you say the wrong thing in one video, if that company hear it and they don't like it, your shit is shut down. You ain't making no bread. You not getting seen nowhere. They blocking you in every country. I'm just saying that like that licensing shit and using people's different
fluid
things. It's like one of those things that like in the moment you don't think that I just exchanged my money. Even if it's digital money, I exchange my digital money for this digital thing. It belongs to me. It don't. It really don't.
No,
it don't.
And even if you wanted to argue or like fight that, like you don't have the money in court to go against these companies, bro. They'll delay that shit for the next 5 years and bleed
You'll
you
get
dry.
cooked. You'll just get cooked.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like my main thing for this episode was really just to cover two things, and it was like gaming died because of us. Like magazine, we killed that shit, not on purpose, but you know, just with the times. And two, please buy physical shit. Like, go get you a big Mission Impossible fan, nigga, go get the box set. You know what I'm saying? Like, go own that shit. Like,
why not buy like physical things that like you enjoy? Like, I know that not everybody has all the fucking space, but if you have space for the things you like, get the things you like.
Yeah, you don't gotta buy all of them shits, but if it has like a connection to you, buy that shit, bro. You don't want to wait. Just like he said, like licensing and all that shit. Like I said, it's very fluid, and what it means today is not what it's gonna mean tomorrow.
One licensing story that changed my fucking life, and I'm sure a lot of you guys could fucking probably agree to this, is buying Cyberpunk early, and then when they went through that fiasco with the bad launch, they gave a 24-hour notice for refunds, and I missed it by an hour. Then the game was still on my console, but I could not open it. So it was like one of those things where it's like, I just spent money for nothing. Thank God they got their shit together. Yeah. Thank God they also realized that 24 hours is not enough for people when shit like that.
Because that's also another thing that I think a lot of people don't think about. Like, even if you download it and it's on your console, consoles today all connect to the internet.
They can lock that shit, bro.
So they can lock your shit and be like, yo, that thing that you're trying to access, you can't access that no more. Like, we don't want you accessing that, so that's dead. So even if you had the digital copy, there's no guarantee it's yours, nigga. I could literally take my PlayStation and be like, I'm not connecting to the internet, and plug my disc in and play whatever the fuck I want, and nobody can tell me shit. But
Guess
once
what?
you connect to the
There's a
internet,
button that's like, do you want to connect to the internet? And you can say
No.
no with your physical, and it'll go, you know what? It's all loaded up in here.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't want the DLC? Nah.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good on that actually, and then you're good. But those games that gotta connect to the internet, because you only got the digital to, nigga. Once they lock that shit, whoops. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't take anything else away from this episode, buy physical, nigga. You buying the game anyway. You buying the game anyway. Just buy the physical. Honestly, I understand there's certain situations where maybe you don't have like a local game spot or whatever that you go to. All right, just buy the shit on Amazon. Let them ship it to your crib. Like, but own, try to own. That's basically
Also,
at the end of the episode for me.
The scam. Hear it right
Scam.
now. They do this now and pretend because they want to kill physical.
Mhm.
Buy the digital, play 5 days early. 5, 3, 2, 1. 1 to 5 days early means you're online. If you're behind, if you're online.
Yeah.
4 days early, nigga, you might as well not play the game. Now you can, but like if you're not so they put pressure on the same streamers and individuals to cop digital because they know that's where it's going. So why not curve into that, nigga?
And even when you think about like when they do like deluxes and shit like that, certain deluxes don't come with a physical version of that.
Yeah,
like Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 didn't have a physical disc in the deluxe version. It was just you downloaded the shit. If you wanted the day launch version, there was a physical. But if you wanted the deluxe version of that, which is what I wanted, which is why I knew, and I could bring the example, is they were like, yo, nah, it's on the deluxe version is just digital. It was like, wait, what do you mean it's only digital? Like, I want the actual disc.
We're gonna send you the shit.
Yeah, and
but
they're
we're
just
not
like,
gonna send you the.
Like, we're not gonna give you an actual disc, nigga. Like, if you want the extra suits and shit, it's only with the digital version, nigga. It was just like, that's very interesting. They're literally trying to push you out of physical.
That's why, but that's also why the new PlayStation is like, yeah, you could buy a disc drive.
Yeah, if you want. You don't have to, like, but at the end of the day, please do, because once you give them full control, they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like, so if your whole collection is digital, you're a slave to them. Like, whatever they decide, that's on you.
They're already doing whatever they want to, so
exactly. So be smart. Even if you buy digital, own some fucking physical.
Cop the physical.
I mean, it mattered. Yeah. So that's my last thing of the episode, you know what I mean? So you got any final words before we go?
Get the physicals of the things you really want. That's what I'll say. I'm a digital. I'm also a Jack Sparrow. So I might not be the best person to talk about this. But if you look behind me, I do have some PS5 digital games that I really fuck with that like the internet go out, nigga. I'm rocking with dumb shit.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna play some FIFA, nigga.
I'm gonna eat.
I'm gonna play some Guardians of the Galaxy again. I might play Rise of the Phoenix, nigga. Never beat that game. I could beat it. And that one comes with the DLC. So
hey, I'm gonna still eat, nigga. So this has been another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast, providing you with that high quality nerd commentary. Subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend if you like what you're hearing. Know what I mean? And you want to see how your boys look. Because niggas been doing the skincare routine. I'm not out here just doing this shit for me. It's for vanity, nigga. I want y'all niggas to see that shit. Know what I mean? Pull up. Pull up. Niggas got swords and shit. Okay. Oh, see, I wasn't even thinking that shit. This nigga's on like a whole nother fucking planet with the shit. Know what I mean? So if you want to see that I just pull out this sword just now, know what I mean? Holla at us on Patreon. It's $5 for the episode. Look, I just found out some new shit with Patreon. I'm gonna put y'all on. Maybe you don't want to handle like a full subscription. You could buy episodes now.
Yeah,
like you can buy individual episodes.
Know
what I mean?
We're gonna have more like gaming. We're gonna have more a lot of everything.
If you like what we just talked about, and I just talked about owning copies, buy yourself this episode. Burn to the CD, nigga. It's yours for life. It's yours for life. No, we can never come out and be like, yo,
physicals.
Like, we can never come out and be like, yo, all them episodes that we did on Patreon is done, nigga. Like,
I'm not gonna lie,
it's
but
like,
I can't come out like this in front of your house. when I find out you've been selling our shit on bootlegs in the corner.
If you want to see what he did, you gotta sign up for the Patreon. It's $5 a month. Know what I mean, or you buy the episode. The episodes I think are like $8. So think about it. It's a deal right off the bat. If every episode is $8 and you pay $5 for the month and you get 4 episodes, nigga, why? Don't scam yourself. Just sign up. You know what I mean? So you can sign up for that. We got Dennis Plus. It's $10. You know what I mean? You get Night Deviant episodes, all that shit. We got other tiers coming. Not yet, but they coming. Gas podcast, all that shit is coming. You know what I mean? You can find us on all social media sites as The Mighty Metas. You can find me on all social media sites as Old Dirty Dennis. That's OLDIRTYDENNIS. I mean, if you want to check out the secret pods where we do like a little bit more serious or whatever, they short episodes. They like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You just it's a quick walk to the store. You know what I mean? I got you. We talking about some real shit. The secret pods. Literally anywhere you can find the Mighty Metahumans, you can find secret pods. You can find my cards on Art by Den, DENN. That's Etsy. You know what I mean? Go on Etsy, just type that in, Art by Den. All my cards. It's basically holiday season time. You need Christmas cards, you need Halloween cards, Thanksgiving cards. I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. You know what I mean? You can find my son Colton.
The Colton Show _ on Twitter, and then the Colton Show everywhere else on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere else. And then thecoltonshow.com and thecoltonshow.myportfolio.com to see all my photographers.
See all his work, you know what I mean? See that nigga work, book him.
Yeah.
I mean, get his merch, all that shit.
That's a fact.
Give us your final words. Take us home.
Final words. Don't get your ass licensed, man. Go get a physical.
Go get a physical. I mean, go take care of that.
You might have to go Jack Sparrow some shit.
Yo ho ho, nigga. A pirate's life for me. Yo, we out.